Conor McGregor is done. And not only is he completely done as a high-level athlete, because this is really the nail in the coffin, and I'm talking about the footage that's been surfacing of Conor McGregor at a boxing event throughout the past 24 hours, off of his rocker, completely out of his mind, high as a kite, okay? But I think I know the reason why he is now being held out. Conor's been saying that the UFC is keeping him from his livelihood. They're making it difficult for him to make his return, and I don't think it has to do with him being on the sauce. And I don't think it's because the UFC is waiting for the perfect moment. The real reason why Conor is being held out is a lot more tragic than most of us would like to admit. And the videos speak for themselves. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you guys some clips of Conor McGregor at this boxing event, several different short interviews, a couple of interactions, and I want you to focus on his movements, his erratic behavior, and of course his facial expressions. And let me know if these are the facial expressions of a sane person that's not loaded to the gills with black tar, whatever the hell they're sniffing, whatever the hell they're taking, okay? Conor McGregor is, as I say, off of his rocker. He's out of his gourd. All right, he's out of his mind. So you're going to have to watch these videos. Just look at this. This is the first one that I'm going to show you, is a clip of Conor McGregor at the airport. I think this is after he was in Saudi Arabia. So I think he's going home now. And Conor's going to go and greet the pilot on his plane, on his private jet. And you could just see, look at this. Conor McGregor walking up. He's walking to this guy like he's about to get into a fucking scrap. And then he gets right in this guy's face. Look at it. Look at this. Boom. Right in his face. Look at this guy. Look at the pilot. Look at the pilot. He's literally fearing for his life. Good man. Good man. I'll fucking bleeding the head up you. And this guy is just, woo-hoo-hoo. He's terrified. Conor is an absolute menace at this point. This is not normal. This is not normal. You don't go up to someone and greet them and, you know, freaking shake your fucking head in their face and just hope and pray that you can hold yourself back from punching the bleeding head off them, right? This is not normal behavior, and that's basically what Conor's doing. He's getting right in this guy's face. He's been hopped up all night. And it's finally, if anyone makes the wrong move, this is the kind of body language that suggests if anyone looks at him the wrong way, if anyone makes the wrong move, you're getting knocked out. Okay? This is like what we're getting from Conor. Look at this right now. Cristiano Ronaldo and Conor McGregor. Just look at Conor's facial expressions. Look at how he's lunging over Cristiano Ronaldo. And then I want you guys to picture this guy, Conor, getting in the cage with an elite UFC fighter, a ranked fighter. Because again, I've said that Conor isn't beating anyone ranked. In fact, he would be lucky to get a win over someone that's unranked in the UFC at this point. His best options are to fight the bottom of the barrel in the lightweight division. And people go crazy and say that's so disrespectful. Come on. You're saying Conor couldn't even beat some ranked guys? Again, dude, no, he's not living the lifestyle that's conducive to being an elite athlete. Picture this guy in the cage with Michael Chandler that's still hungry and that dedicates every single waking second of his life to getting better and giving himself the best chance to win a fucking cage fight. And look at Conor McGregor and how he's acting. All right, well, watch this clip of Conor making Cristiano Ronaldo disgusted. Look at this. Oh, he's getting close. Look at this. Look at Ronaldo's facial expression. Just disgusted. Get the fuck out of my face. And he knows that he makes one wrong move and he's catching a big old left hook to the jaw. That's the thing. Conor McGregor, look at this man's face. Look at the vein. He's got a hose in his forehead. Yeah. Conor, what is going on, man? And here's another one that I'm going to show you. It's Conor McGregor getting interviewed by, I believe this is Derek Chisora. And they're talking about Manny Pacquiao. Just look at Conor's face during this interview. It's bloated up, right? There are hoses coming out of 5 different places in his face. Look at the eyes, man. Just crazy man Conor. Crazy man Conor.
Saudi.
Mate,
How does that sound here?
I'm there to watch
Now, wouldn't you think Manny should have to come up to my weight? considering it's his sport.
You know what?
Wouldn't you think that's what a man would do versus
Money
what a
talk.
mouse would do?
Money talk. You tell him what would you want to say.
Look at the wink. Conor McGregor freaking winks at him. Bro, one thing I'll give Conor is that he's got so much charisma, bro. Conor's an absolute boss, bro. Straight up. Like, this is not a hate video. This is just a video to let you guys know he'll never win a fight ever again. He's too blasted. He's not treating himself like a high-level athlete. People in the comments are going to be saying, dude, you don't understand. Like, professional athletes always party. No, they fucking don't. Okay? No, they don't. Not as much as Conor. Conor's literally out here getting it every single day, probably. That's just not true. There are still so many people that believe Conor McGregor is still that guy. Well, yeah, he may not be able to beat Makhachev or Charles Oliveira, but he'll certainly go in there and beat Dan Hooker, right? No, he won't. Conor is totally done. This is about as washed as you could possibly get. This is not Michael Jordan getting a round of beers before a basketball game the night before. All right, this is not John Jones snorting a line a couple weeks out of a title fight. This is every single time we see McGregor. Every single time. And you pair that with the fact that he's made hundreds of millions of dollars. So he's not hungry at all. All right. And he's just not training like a man that still is going to be at an elite level. This guy's not in the gym working with people that are going to push him. He's not doing hard wrestling rounds. If he's grappling with a couple of bantamweights that are, half the size of him. He's hitting pads. He's hitting pads with a bunch of yes men. Every time I see Conor doing work, I've said this a million times, but it's just true. It's like him throwing big meaty hooks against a big round pad, like the laziest kind of exercise you could do. He's not pushing himself. He's just destroying his body week in and week out. And the last thing I want to talk about is the reason why Conor McGregor may be out. I do not believe it's for the same reason why the UFC held him out in 2020. So, for example, Conor wanted to fight in 2020. He started 2020 with a win over Cowboy, and then he was held out for a whole year because they wanted him to fight in front of a crowd, which wouldn't have been possible in 2020, right? They wanted him to come back, make this grandiose entrance, sell out an arena, and of course, they waited until they could at least have half of that in 2021 when he came back to fight Dustin Poirier. But again, Conor McGregor's been talking about how no other athlete has been treated this way, how they're taking away his livelihood. And you have to ask yourself why. You got to think about that. Conor's been in the USADA testing pool. We got news of that about 3 months ago. It's a 6-month period where you're now eligible to fight again. If you go through the USADA testing pool for at least 6 months, that would fit the timeline of him coming back at UFC 300. But his team, the UFC, they keep pushing it back. I don't think it has to do with Conor being on the sauce. I think that it's more likely that Conor McGregor is being held out because he is spiraling out of control with this addiction. He can't get clean. And his team, his manager, his family, the UFC, they're scrambling to try to get him help. And it's not so easy to do that. Because again, the shit that he's taken is a little bit more addictive than the sauce. I think that that's why, guys. Again, you could try to give me another reason in the comments. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but every single time we see Conor McGregor, it's right there. It's right in our faces. This man is off the walls, okay? This is a little bit different than the Conor that I was seeing in 2016, 2017, 2018 when he was partying after his wins. Just look at his face. Look at how much he's aged, okay? And then once again, pair that with the USADA timeline. They're worried that he's not going to pop for sauce, but he's going to pop for snow. All right? And not only that, I bet the UFC is worried that he's going to make a fool of himself in the build-up to this fight, and they don't want him to do that. They don't want him to stain his legacy coming back with these kind of antics in front of the UFC cameras at the UFC press conference. It'll be just so obvious for the world to see with all the media that he would be doing coming back for that fight. I bet they're trying to get him clean. And I don't think they can, which is so tragic, man. Because Conor seemed so focused when he was trying to come back in 2020. He seemed so focused when he was coming back to fight Dustin Poirier in 2021 for the rematch. And you just look at how much he's spiraled out of control. So I really hope that Conor can find some help. I hope that this man can get clean. Otherwise, well, I don't know if it's even possible at this point, but I think it may be too late for him to get wins. I'm just concerned for Conor's well-being at this point because he is a legend. He did change the game, and he's such an important figure to MMA. So, yeah. I mean, what other reason could there be? I think they're just really worried that he's going to be too obviously addicted. And, you know, there's also the fact that he could pop, and there's probably a bunch of reasons. You got to think about how bad this is behind the scenes once again. I mean, we're just seeing what's on the surface at these red carpet events, these big boxing showcases. Imagine what's going on behind the scenes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It is Christmas Eve, so I want to wish you guys all a Merry Christmas. Until next time.